Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to start our chapter number 5. The book which I am following is Computer Science with Python by Sumita Arora, Dhanpatra and Publication. We are starting the programming part from the chapter number 5 in the book. The name of the chapter is Computational Thinking and Getting Started with Python. In this chapter, we will basically discuss what we mean by Python programming, why we use Python instead of other languages, how to install Python on our computer system. You can also execute the instructions or the Python instructions on mobile phone also, and thereafter we will discuss about two methods in which we can work with Python programming. These are interactive mode and script mode in Python. So let us start our chapter number 5 from the very beginning, that is Introduction to the Python programming. Python is a high level object oriented programming language which was developed in Feb 1991 by Guido van Rossum, and it is an interpreter based language developed in Netherlands. So it got its name from the famous TV serial Monty Python's Flying Circus, which was telecast on BBC channel. So till now I told you a brief introduction about the Python programming, and Python programming is based on two languages. One is Modula 3, another is ABC language. Now I will tell you what is the meaning of high level, what is the meaning of object oriented programming language, what is the meaning of interpreted based language, and how it came into existence. Actually, the implementation of Python programming began in 1989, but its first official version was introduced in Feb 1991. Now let us discuss all these terms: high level, object oriented programming, interpreted based language in detail. What is the meaning of high level and all these? Very first term was high level language. High level language are the languages in which we write the instruction by using some symbols which are close to our natural language, like you can use capital A to capital Z, small a to small z that we use in English. We can use plus, minus, multiply, divide symbol, and we can easily write our program. Some other high level languages are C++, Java, Visual Basic, PHP, etc. All these are also high level programming languages. Now next is what we mean by object oriented. Object is any real world entity which is having some state, behavior and identity which can be differentiated from others. It means like we are the objects, we are having certain properties by which we can be differentiated from others, and every object have some properties and they can perform certain tasks. It means there is certain behavior corresponding to the object also. Like we are the object, we are having certain properties like our name, our mobile phone number, our email ID, the class in which we are studying. All these are the properties, and we are having certain behavior also. We can run, we can swim, we can talk, we can walk. So every object is having certain properties and behavior. Object oriented means a language which is based on objects, means we will try to solve the problems by the help of machine instead of doing it manually. So the object oriented programming concept is very much useful to solve real world problem with the help of the computer system. Now every object belongs to a class. Class is basically collection of similar objects. Like we are the objects and we belongs to human being class. If I consider an example of chair or a table, then these are the objects which belongs to a furniture class. So every object belongs to a class, and class is a collection of similar objects. Next term was interpreter based language. All of you knows computer is an electronic device which can understand the language of zeros and ones. But when we provide the instruction to the computer system, we use capital A to capital Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9, all these symbols, plus, minus, multiply, divide, we can all use. It means whatever the information we are providing to the computer system cannot understand that. And if the computer system cannot understand that, then how the computer system will start its execution? So what it will need? It needs the information in the form of binary. It means some translation must be there, so that the computer system can start the processing of the instructions which are provided by the programmer, so that computer can start working and provide us the result. So interpreter is basically a language translator which converts a program which is written in high level language into binary line by line. It means when you will write your first line, you will press enter key. When you will go to the next line, then what it will do, it have translated the first line into the form of zeros and ones, and if there is an error or a mistake in your first line, then it will show you an error at the same time. So it is the concept of interpreter, that it is a language translator which converts a program which is written in high level language into binary line by line. Similarly, there is one more concept. Instead of interpreter, there is one more language translator available, and this language translator is known as compiler. Compiler is also a language translator which converts a program written in high level language into binary all at once. Means suppose there is a program which is written by you, and that particular program have 10 statements. Then what the compiler will do, it will start its part after writing all the instructions. Means firstly we will write our all 10 instructions, then our program will be converted into binary, and if there is a mistake in any line, then it will show you a list of errors, that first line is having this error, second line have this error, and if no error is available, then it will execute your program. So you understand the concept of interpreter and compiler. Both are the language translator. Interpreter converts the program line by line into binary, and compiler converts the program in one go. So in Python programming we use the concept of interpreter, and it is very good for the programmers to use the concept of interpreter, because you will get the errors at the same time instead of getting all the errors at a single time while writing the program. So till now we discussed about high level, object oriented and interpreter based language. Now what actually programming language means? All of you knows language is the mode of communication by which we can express our views and ideas with someone. But when we want to provide the instruction to the computer system, for that it means we are communicating with the computer system or an electronic device, then we need to use the concept of programming language. So programming language are used to provide instructions to the computer system, and computer system will execute all these instructions. So before the introduction of the high level language, we use this binary language to write the instructions, but binary language is very difficult to understand by the human being, and it is also very complicated. So instead of machine level languages or assembly level language, we use the concept of high level language nowadays. Now let us start with our next topic, what we mean by computational thinking. So computational thinking is a word which is derived from computation and thinking. It means we will discuss about various solving methods for a particular problem, and then we will find out a particular solution which is possible for the computer system to execute. And whenever we want to solve a particular instructions, then there will be a number of methods to do that. So instead of randomly selecting anyone, we will select a most efficient algorithm or step to solve the particular problem. So there are basically 4 characteristics of computational thinking. Very first is decomposition. Decompositions means whenever you are having a large problem, then divide the problem into subparts. Suppose I have a problem, I divide the problem into two sub problems, and if these two sub problems can be easily solved, then fine. Otherwise I can also divide these sub problems into further subparts. Then what we will do, we will execute these subparts separately and we will combine their results so that we can get the actual desired result. Because whenever we write a big or a large problem, then the complexity is also there. So to reduce the complexity of the code, we divide our program into small parts. It means we decompose our problem into subparts. So very first part is decomposition, means dividing the problem into subparts. Next is pattern recognition. Now whenever we form the subparts, then we need to make certain connections between these subparts. Like suppose you are driving on a highway and you want to change your lane, so you need to first decide at the time that when you will change your lane, then no other vehicle must be there, otherwise there is chance of accident. So it means whenever we will create some subparts, then there need to be some connections between these subparts, so that these subparts can be combined all together and we can get the desired result which we want. Now after decomposition and pattern recognition, next characteristic is abstraction. Abstraction means showing necessary information and hiding unrelated or unnecessary part from the users. Suppose we want to turn on the TV, then what we basically do, we turn on the switch, we use the remote control, and thereafter its working will start. We don't even know how the circuit completes when we switch on the TV and how the transmission of signals takes place from the remote to the television, but we just need to know how to press the keys and which key will do which operation for us. So this task is known as abstraction, because we don't want each and every detail to the user. So we need to hide some unnecessary details from the user and show only the desired information to the user. So in that case we use the concept of abstraction. Next is algorithm design. Algorithm is basically a set of steps which you can write in any general purpose language, like you can use English or Hindi. Every problem when you want to solve, then what it need a set of steps to be followed, and if these steps are arranged in a proper order, then we can easily solve the problem. Suppose what we need, I need to write algorithm to find addition of two numbers. What I will write, very first step will be enter first number, second step will be enter second number, third step will be perform addition, fourth step will be print the result that we obtain on the screen. So it is known as algorithm. Algorithm is set of steps which you can write in any general purpose language, and before actual coding or writing the program, we develop an algorithm. Now some advantage of using Python instead of other programming language. Very first is, it is very easy to use and learn. If you learn C and C++, then there are some concepts which are very difficult to understand, and also the syntax of these languages difficult as compared to the syntax or the grammar of the Python programming that we are using. Next is expressive, means when you will look at the code which is written in Python program, then you can easily determine that what will be the task that particular instruction is doing in the program. Here in our example we have written a is equal to 10. It means value 10 will be assigned to variable a. So it is easily we can determine the purpose of a statement or an instruction which is written in Python programming which we are using. Here is one more example for you. We have written a comma b is equal to 5 comma 6. What will happen? Value 5 will be assigned to variable a, value 6 will be assigned to variable c. Next advantage is interpreter based language. I have already told you what is the meaning of interpreter, that it executes or translates the program written in high level language into binary line by line. After ending or terminating each line, you will get the notification of an error if you have made in your program. Thereafter, cross platform language. Cross platform means The program which you will write in Python can execute on any of the operating system, like you can execute the program on Windows, Linux, Unix, Apple Mac. Even you can make your programs on mobile phones. Next is free and open source. It means original version of Python is freely available on the internet. You can just explore the site www.python.org and you can download latest version of Python as per your requirement on your computer system. And open source means the coding which is done to implement the Python platform is available to the user and anyone can modify that as per their requirement. It is the meaning of free and open source. Source means source code is available for the users also. Next advantage is we can write various types of program. You can make simple programs, you can implement games, you can implement a website in Python as per your requirement. Most of the major IT companies like Infosys, Wipro, TCS, Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these are using Python nowadays. Next is completeness. It means when you will install Python on your computer system, you will get everything. Nothing else need to be installed. Most of the functionality are predefined, are available already in your software package. Nothing need to be installed separately for doing your execution or Python programming. Now after advantages, let us discuss about some of the limitations or minuses of the Python programming. Very first, it is not the fastest language because we are using the concept of interpreter here. So what will happen, every time when your program you are implementing in Python, interpreter is also available in the memory. It means interpreter if already available in the memory, and every computer system have a predefined or RAM available in your computer system. RAM stands for random access memory. So when two things or two concepts are simultaneously available in the memory, then what will happen, the memory space will fill up and the processing of your system will be little bit slow. So it is the limitation, but today we are using the systems which are having very much processing capability. It is not an issue of today's time that much, but if interpreter need to convert every line into binary after each and every line, so it must remains in memory throughout the lifetime of your program. So what will happen, when the memory space will be occupied, then there will be certain degradation in the processing of the system. Next is a Python program cannot be easily translated to other programming language. Suppose you want to translate your program which is written in Python into other programming language, then it is very difficult to do that. Thereafter, it is having less library. So there will be some situation in which instead of Python programming, some other programming language can be preferred. So till now we discussed about computational thinking, 4 characteristics of computational thinking, what is Python, why we use Python, and some advantage and disadvantage of using Python programming. Now we will discuss how to install Python programming into our computer system and start executing our instructions, and thereafter your chapter number 5 will be completed. So let us start how to install Python on your computer system. You can also write the instructions in the mobile phone by downloading certain apps from the Play Store or App Store, whichever mobile phone you are having. Now I am going to describe you all the steps which we basically follows to download or install Python 3.8 for Windows operating system. As most of us are using Windows operating system, that's why I am describing you here. And we are using Python distribution which is available on python.org. Some other Python distributions are also available in the market, like you can download Anaconda, you can download Spider, Jupyter, etc., and all these are also explained in your book, but maximum of the time we use is standard Python distribution which is available on python.org website. So I am telling you the procedure to download Python 3.8 on your computer system. Very first, what you will do, you will open your web browser like Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Then you will simply go to the website www.python.org/downloads, and here will be a link to download Python 3.8 which you want to install on your computer system. Presently we are having the latest version 3.8.2 that you can install from python.org, and when you will click on this link which is having the link to download Python 3.8 on your computer system, then you will click on that. Then it will start processing, means the downloading of Python package or environment will be started in your web browser window. Now when you have downloaded Python, then its executable file need to be run or executed. You need to double click on that, and thereafter what will happen, your installation of Python programming or the Python platform will begin. So when you will run your software which is downloaded by you, then there will be two options, install now and customize installation. You need to click on install now. So when you will click on the install now, then this window will appear to you that setup is in processing, that setup installation has been started, and after some time you will get our next screen like setup installation is successful, and now you need to click on close button. It means the Python is successfully installed on your computer system. Now let us see how to open Python which is installed in your computer system. Now after installation we need to open our Python IDLE. IDLE stands for Integrated Development Environment, and to open that we need to click on start. Thereafter you need to click on programs, then you will find a name Python 3.8.2 whatever you are using. Thereafter you need to open this Python IDLE option. This is what we are getting as we have installed Python 3.8 32-bit on our computer system. When you will click on that particular part, then what will happen, you will get a screen like this. This is Python IDLE and it is 3 times greater than sign. This symbol is known as prompt and it is also known as Python shell. There are basically two methods in which you can work in Python. One is interactive mode and one is script mode. So it is interactive mode, means you will type your command in front of the prompt, and when you will press enter key, then you will get the result. Let us see this with help of one example. So let us understand the working of Python in two modes, that there are basically two modes in which we can work in Python. One is interactive mode and one is script mode, and this is the script mode, interactive mode available to you, that you will write a command and when you will press enter key, then the Python interpreter will execute this command and you will get the result. And command can be written in front of prompt, that is 3 times greater than symbol which is available to you. In our example we have written the statement 2 plus 3, 2 time multiplication operator and 2 time asterisk sign is exponent operator available in Python, means raised to power. So what will happen, 3 raised to power 2 is 9, 9 plus 2, so 11 will be the result in this case. 3 raised to power 2 is 9, then 9 plus 2 is 11. So by default we get this mode which is known as interactive mode. You will type the command and you will get the result when you will press the enter key. And to start interactive mode, the steps I have already told you. Need to click on start button, all programs, you will come to your Python folder, you will select your Python IDLE, you will get this screen. You will type the command here in front of the prompt and you will get the result after pressing enter key. Now if we want to write a program in script mode is basically used when you will try to write a set of instructions and you want to get the output all together. It means suppose 10 statements are written by you and all together you want to do the execution or you want to get the result. In that case interactive mode cannot be used. For that what we will do, we will use concept of script mode, and whenever we write any large problem or large program then we use the concept of script mode. For that what we will do, in this menu bar there is an option that is file. We will click on this option and then there will be an option new. You can also use a shortcut control plus N and then it will open script mode for you. Let us see this with help of some screenshot and example. So when you click on this file you will get the option new file. You can also press Ctrl plus N, and when you will press Ctrl plus N then it will open the script mode for you. So it is the script mode. Here is the editor available for you. Here you will write your Python program, and let us try to write a program in script mode. Suppose what we want to do here, we want to print a single statement hello world on the screen. For that what we will do, we will just write a single statement in the editor, print hello world. Print is a function which is available in standard library of Python to display some information on the standard output device which is monitor. When you have completed writing your instruction, thereafter what you can do, you can click on run option available on the menu bar and there will be an option run module. Otherwise you just press F5 function key available on your keyboard, and when you will click on that then what will happen, it will ask you to save your program first before proceeding or executing your program. So very first we need to save our program. For that we will click on OK button here. What you will do, you will choose the location of the file where you want to save and you need to write the name. Here we are test and it is save type as Python files. You will click on the save button and then you will get your output on the screen printing hello world, as we have used a single instruction in our program to display hello world on the screen. So by this chapter is complete, and you can try to do the exercise questions of this chapter, and if any doubt is still there, then you can ask me for that. Thank you.